Now, it's not the organizations that got the flack. It was something called the New Israel Fund. The New Israel Fund was established in 1979 by pretty progressive people who thought that Jews who want to donate to Israel should have more say as to where their money is going. Because anyone who donates, I don't know if you know this in the United States, anyone who donates money to the UJA or the Jewish National Fund has no control over where the money goes, and the money can go for settlements or for anything that the authorities, the Jewish and Israeli authorities, want it to go. So the New Israel Fund started this new foundation. It is based in America, started the foundation as an anchor, a place where donations to Israel could be brought in, but could be regulated and taken to the kind of donation that one wants to make. The New Israel Fund is led by Professor Nomi Chazan, and Im Tirtzu put out these posters of Nomi Chazan with a horn. Those of you who have seen any kind of old Nazi ads will have an automatic association here. These are the kind of ads that anti-Semites used against Jews. That was the automatic association that everybody had. What Im Tirtzu did was go over all of the Goldstone data and show that 92% of the quotes that Goldstone used in order to negatively portray Israel came from the 16 organizations that were funded by the NIF. Now, I smiled today. I even smiled when it came out. I said, who on earth could take this seriously? But the media in Israel took this seriously. The general population took this seriously. And most amazingly, the government, parliament, and the institutions all took this very seriously. Within a day, there was a Knesset law floated asking for a law to be formulated to investigate the organizations, basically for treason. That law never made it. That law never made it, interestingly enough. The Knesset, the parliament, had enough sense about it not to pass that. The Knesset did put out a decision that the government would not cooperate any longer with NIF. Now, NIF runs all these social justice organizations. They have those 16, but they fund over 300 organizations that work on everything that you would think of here in civil society and social justice. Women's issues, poverty, children's issues, health. NIF became a non grata organization. And what came out during that same month was that actually the NIF and the organizations had been under investigation by the security services for the past year through reports given by Im Tirtzu. Interestingly, off record, one Secret Service person said that it would be hard to, quote, connect this activity to political subversion. It would be hard to show how somebody giving money for health or women's rights or children would be political subversion. But this is what began in January. Let me just finish this one small story. There was a law floated that any organization would have to give full disclosure of its funding if the funding came from abroad. And that has just this week passed the first, whatever it's called, the first call, what's it called here? First vote. You have to go through 3 votes in Knesset. The first vote has already gone through, that all the organizations have to report on any donations and funding that they get from any foreign entities, governments, agencies, European Union, whatever, the identity of the funder, the goals of the funding, obligations undertaken vis-a-vis the funder, etc. Now, you don't have to be that struck. I mean, you have the same thing in America and all sorts of anti-terrorism measures. But this was not something that had to do even with a semblance of terrorism. The whole idea here was that these are organizations that do work for social justice, but are, for some reason, perceived as traitors.